Then, suddenly, we hear a voice saying, "Man, my body hurts so much today." We cut to a scene with Kim and an old man. Kim tells him, "Old man, you worked hard today." The old man asks, "Do I have to keep doing this until next week too?" Kim laughs, "Sometimes, you act just like a kid." The old man yells at him, "Have you ever driven a truck? Do you even know how hard that is?" Kim calmly replies, "Yes, I do. But if you knew how much we earned today, you wouldn't be complaining." The old man asks, "Fine. Tell me, how much did we make?" Kim responds, "After cutting out the commission and taxes, we've got $7,800 left. If we split that 50 to 50, you get $3,900 and I get $3,900. The old man snaps, 50 to 50? No way. It should be 70 to 30. You beat the monsters and brought them to me. I only dismantled them. Kim says, "Dismantling monsters is also important. I was actually going to do 80 to 20, but I gave you 30. That's 10% more than you deserve. So just go along with it. If not, I won't be coming back tomorrow." After that, Kim says, "All right, fine. I'll do as you say. If we take 30% of 7,800, it's around 2,340. But that amount doesn't sound good to me. So, I'll make it 2,500. Hearing this, the old man replies, "Hey, what just happened? That 2,300 suddenly became 2,500? Kim responds, "Just pretend you didn't see anything. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be making this much money. And anyway, if you think it's too much, just fill up your car with fuel." The old man nods and says, all right, I'll go with what you're saying." Then Kim asks, "By the way, tell me something. You didn't look too surprised." The old man replies, "Surprised? Why would I be surprised? Do you think I'm shocked because of the money?" Kim says, "No, I'm not talking about money. Didn't you notice I was raiding dungeons? You didn't look shocked at all." The old man calmly answers, "Not really. I was there at the academy fight. I saw everything." Kim is suddenly shocked. "You were there? Then why didn't you contact me? We could have talked." The old man says, "Talk about what? If we had talked, it would have just added pressure on you. So I chose not to." Kim thinks to himself, "Just like I thought." The old man may look rough from the outside, but deep down, he's soft-hearted. He helped me when I was drowning in debt. When no one else was around, he stood by me like a pillar. He's always supported me. Then Kim says, "Hey, old man, I just got a great idea. What if you start a monster delivery service? Doesn't that sound cool?" The old man raises an eyebrow. "Monster delivery service? And where do you suppose I'll get the money for all this? Are you powerful enough, or rich enough, to start a whole new service?" Kim laughs, "Not yet. Maybe later. Right now, it's like an egg dreaming of becoming a chicken." Here, the old man's sarcasm basically means Kim doesn't even have the money yet, and he's already planning to spend it. Then we're shown day 2 of the dungeon contest. Someone remarks, "So you're the two who not only clear dungeons but dismantle monsters too?" That guy adds, "Isn't it weird? First, you clear dungeons, and then you dismantle the monsters. I had doubts at first, but now I'm sure. Still, as long as no rules are being broken, go ahead and do your thing." Then we see the day 2 leaderboard. Kim Seo-jun has cleared 41 dungeons, and Lee Seo-yeon has cleared 20. Kim says, "Good. If things keep going like this, I'll win this contest easily." But the old man is now visibly exhausted. He says, "If we don't win this contest, I swear I'm gonna lose my mind." Kim reassures him, "Don't stress. Just 5 more days to go." He then thinks to himself, choosing the old man was a great decision. Cut to the old man again. He mutters, "Someone needs to tell this guy that the word rest actually exists." Kim says, "All right, if I win here, I'm going to treat you to some really good meals." The old man grins, "Deal. But be warned, I'm planning to buy some expensive stuff." Kim replies, "Of course. I'll invite Seo-yeon too, and then we'll throw a proper party." The old man laughs, "Sounds like I'll need to place a giant meat order." Kim is thrilled and says, "At this rate, my prize doesn't seem far off." Then we move to day 3. The old man stands there with a strange expression. Kim asks, "What's wrong? Did something happen?" The old man shows him something. Looking at it, Kim is shocked. All the dungeons around him are marked as reserved. Kim says, "How is this even possible? All the dungeons near me are already reserved?" He thinks, if I go for non-reserved dungeons, it'll take a lot more time. But why are only the dungeons near me reserved? Is it just a coincidence? Or something else? The old man adds, "Something feels off here." Kim agrees, "Yeah, I feel it too. It's like all the other participants are doing this on purpose. And it's seriously starting to make me angry." But then he calms himself, "Maybe it's true, or maybe it's not. We can't say for sure yet. For now, let's just go clear some dungeons." Next day, the same situation repeats. All nearby dungeons are still reserved. The old man is now clearly pissed and starts cursing the system. We then see the board. Kim has only cleared 10 dungeons, while Lee Seoyeon has cleared 25. Kim thinks, man, I only cleared 10 today. Something is definitely wrong. The old man says, this isn't just something wrong, this is worse than that. The one in second place is quickly catching up. Then the daughter of Sword Saint, Yun, shows up and says, you can actually check which participants reserved which dungeons. Kim starts thinking, even if I'm leading now, if this keeps happening every day, I won't be able to maintain it. I'll lose this contest. Kim turns to the old man. I'm sorry. I think until I close this gap, we'll have to stop dismantling monsters. The old man nods, I know. Victory is important. Then he adds, it's not about how quickly you clear dungeons. What matters is how close, or how far, you are from them. After that, Kim starts thinking and says, this is absolutely correct. But then, suddenly, he exclaims, I have an idea, and this might just help us win easily. Next, we are shown a scene with several hunters standing around. One of them says, it's good that you all are talking, but don't get too relaxed. Kim will reserve one area, and you all should register the surrounding areas. One of the hunters replies, don't worry, I'm watching it on my screen. Then, another hunter adds, I know, we just need to do what we did yesterday. Two hunters are conversing about how one of them completes the raids so quickly. The one standing across from him responds, we don't care how he does it. We just need to focus on what we're getting from him. The first hunter stands up and says, hey, listen to me. He has just reserved it. Remember, we have to do exactly what we did yesterday. Reserve all the dungeons around his area. And don't do it all at once, spread it out over 10-minute gaps. Otherwise, he might get suspicious. The man with the hat agrees, okay, we got it. No need to explain further. But suddenly, the hunters are shocked as they spot something. They rush to the person who had just lectured them. One of the hunters asks, what's going on? Why aren't you reserving the areas quickly? Is something wrong? The other hunter responds, we want to reserve, but we can't because Kim has already reserved it. Leo is already hunting there. Hearing this, the person who had been lecturing them is visibly shocked and says, show me the phone. The hunters explain that if they reserve all the dungeons around him, Leo won't be able to raid them. One of the hunters asks, can we cancel our reservations? The other hunter answers, once you reserve a dungeon, you can't cancel it. The person who had been guiding them looks at the phone, trembling in shock. Meanwhile, we see Leo quickly eliminating monsters. She then gets into a car and tells the driver, hurry up, take me to the next destination. I need to raid more dungeons. The driver replies, ma'am, you cleared that dungeon really quickly. It only took you 15 minutes to finish it. Leo then says, why haven't you started the car? The driver responds, all the dungeons in this area have been reserved. Next, a list appears showing that Kim Seo-jun has cleared 15 dungeons, while Leo has cleared 13. Leo sighs, ugh, we've been tricked. At first, I thought Kim was accidentally reserving areas around us. But now I realize he's deliberately reserving them. If this continues, I'll lose to him quickly, and the gap will widen. I won't be able to catch up. Her father replies, I knew he'd notice eventually, but I didn't expect him to notice so quickly and take revenge. He then adds, don't worry, I've come up with another plan. Just do what you've been doing. The scene shifts to the 5th day of the dungeon contest. Someone approaches Kim and says, so, you're Kim. Kim asks, first, tell me, do you know me? The old man replies, I knew something was going to go wrong here. Kim then says, you know the rules, right? Participants can't fight each other. If you try, there will be a punishment. I'm not here to fight you, I reserve my dungeons. Leo, coming over, says, so you're the participant Kim. Are you the same Kim we've been hearing about? Kim responds, so, you're Li Xiaon, or should I say Leo? Kim then says, it doesn't matter who wins or loses. What matters is that we should have a fair fight. The competition has started, and we should complete it with good intentions. Leo retorts, so, you're saying I'm not fighting fairly? Kim quickly clarifies, no, that's not what I meant, and leaves. Meanwhile, Sean watches him leave. Sean looks at him and starts speaking, what a nice intention. You really making me laugh. But in her mind, she's thinking, in today's world, no one really thinks with good intentions. Humans, or whatever creatures live here, are only selfish. They act only when there's something to gain, otherwise, they won't lift a finger. She continues, so basically, what I'm saying is, this world has no justice or equality. Then we see her releasing her aura and stepping into her dungeon. She says, alright, let me clear this dungeon first. Cut to the next scene, Li Xiaon quickly clears her dungeon and comes outside. Her driver is there, surprised. He says, wow, unbelievable. I thought it was just a rumor, but it turns out to be true. These people really don't stop, do they? Li Xiaon turns to look, and she's completely shocked. Kim is approaching with a bunch of monsters, while an old man rapidly dismantles them. Kim walks up to her and says, impressive. You cleared your raid faster than I expected. I thought you'd take a bit longer. Then Kim asks her, "Can I have the monster crops from your dungeon?" She replies, "Sure, you can take them. I don't mind." Hearing that, Kim gets really happy and says, "Thanks." He then goes back to exercising. Li Xiaon asks, "What exactly are you doing?" Kim responds, "Are you asking about the exercising or the dismantling?" He explains, "I'm doing this because I need money. We even get paid for dismantling monsters." Li Xiaon, walking away, mutters, "I'm really just wasting my time with you." In her mind, she thinks, "I knew it. No one in this world is born with good intentions." Makes sense, though, how could there be genuinely good people in this world? She remembers her brother, who once told her, "Your brother will become a pro hunter and rule everyone's hearts." Now she thinks to herself, anyone can become a pro hunter nowadays. It's just a job title now. With all that on her mind, she walks toward her car. Scene shift, suddenly, there's a massive explosion. Someone says, "Sir Kalia, you told me this was just a 6-star dungeon. So how come there are 10-star monsters here? Care to explain?" A massive monster lies defeated on the ground, with a man standing on top of it. Miss Kalia responds, "I assumed this was a 6-star dungeon, but due to restoration, its level must have increased." The man replies, "Don't say strange things. I know that dungeons don't just change like that anymore. That only happened 30 years ago." It turns out the man is none other than the Sword Saint. He says, "I know this can't be real, this kind of thing stopped happening 3 decades ago." Kalia tries to calm him, "I understand how you feel. I swear on my order of truth, I'm telling the truth." Sword Saint replies, "Are you really being honest? It still sounds like a scam to me." Then suddenly, a man wearing a hat shows up and says, "Oh my god, can you both just calm down for a second?" Another woman appears. She says, "I came here to investigate, not to watch your drama." Sword Saint snaps, "Don't say useless things. I called the Magic Saint here. What are you doing here?" We're then introduced to the woman. Her name is Young Jimin, and she's an apprentice of the Magic Saints. Jimin says, "You know the Magic Saint isn't doing well right now, right?" Sword Saint, clearly irritated, says, "Why are you calling me Gramps? Do you even know how old you are?" Jimin replies, "I know there's a huge age gap between us, but I was just matching your tone." She then adds, "I can feel it, the magic here is different." She continues, just as Sword Saint said, "This can't be a normal distortion. Tell me, did you feel anything strange while fighting that monster?" Sword Saint says, "No, I didn't feel anything unusual. And anyway, you know what 10-star monsters are like." Jimin tells him, "You're talking in a really strange way right now." Sword Saint asks, "So you saying this isn't a distortion, then what is it?" Jimin replies, "I'm not saying it's not a distortion, but we can't just leave it like this either." She explains, "This kind of thing last happened when the giant beasts began to appear." Then, Kalia speaks up, asking if there's a possibility that the other dungeons might have upgraded, just like the dungeon that has been involved with the issue. Jiminy responds that while the chances are low, it's not something they can completely ignore. Who knows? It could very well happen. She says that before anything happens, they need to investigate this thoroughly. She adds that they should also talk to the association president so he can check on the low-level dungeons. The scene shifts to a girl who asks, "Is this the same dungeon gate?" The boy replies, "Yes, it's quite rare for one dungeon to be attached to 2 others. We see 3 dungeons in front of the same person, 1 red, 1 purple, and 1 blue." The person says, "This is my first time seeing 3 dungeons attached like this." Next, the scene shifts to a guy who says, "Maybe I reserved this dungeon." Another person apologizes, saying, "Sorry, I think I made a huge mistake." The third person adds, "Yeah, sorry too. I thought this dungeon was mine." The scene cuts to Dream Academy, where someone is asking, "Have these people gone crazy?" We see it's none other than the old man, furiously shouting, "How can they do this? Every time we reserve, they all end up here." Kim says, "None of our methods will work now because they've changed theirs." The next scene shows a list where Kim has cleared only 5 dungeons, while Leo has cleared 26. Shuryan, clearly frustrated, says, "If I used my grandfather's name, I could complain against them." Just then, an announcement is made saying that if anyone can't raid a dungeon, they can join someone else's raid and still earn points. Kim reads the announcement and thinks, "Alright, whatever happens tomorrow, I feel like it's going to be better. Their useless methods won't work on me anymore." The scene shifts to a truck where the old man shouts, "Hurry, move your car to the side." The person in the truck apologizes, saying, "Sorry, my gas is leaking," and we see that this isn't a one-time occurrence. Excuses like, "Sorry, I was so tired I didn't see you," or "I didn't see the traffic lights because I was on my phone," are happening everywhere. Next, we move to day 4, where Leo is in first place and Kim is in second. Shuryan tells everyone, "I asked the other dungeon participants, and they all said they have no relation to Leo. I've informed dungeon management, and they'll look into it." The old man, still fuming, says, "They're doing this on purpose, causing traffic to prevent Kim from raiding dungeons. Shuryan agrees, adding, yes, the biggest issue here is time. I've personally seen that Leo comes from Hunter Academy, and their headmaster is Lee Sukman. The old man asks, who is Lee Sukman? Shuryan explains, he's a retired S-rank hunter, and many people acknowledge him, including Sword Saint. The old man replies, is he a professional hunter? I suppose he must be highly skilled if everyone, including your grandfather, recognizes him. Shuryan cuts him off, saying, no, his skills are actually pretty poor. The only thing good about him is his mouth. The old man says, I had a feeling he used tricks like that. Shuryan continues, I don't think they're doing a good job with the investigation, and it'll only end once the challenge is over and Leo wins. If my grandfather were here, this would be resolved quickly. Kim interjects, no, I don't think Sword Saint can arrive here that quickly. Shuryan agrees, and the old man says, we can't give up. If we do, we'll lose for sure. Hearing this, everyone looks down in despair. Shuryan apologizes to Kim, saying, I'm sorry, I couldn't help you out. Kim asks, why are you apologizing? She replies, I feel like I haven't been of any help to you. Kim reassures her, saying, no, you've already helped us a lot. If you hadn't helped, we would still be way behind. The old man agrees with Kim, telling Shuryan not to worry. We'll figure it all out, he says, then points at Kim and says, he needs to find the way through all of this. The scene shifts again to Kim, who is told by the old man, hey, don't keep your head down. Talk to Shuryan, because I know you're hiding something. Kim smirks evilly, and the scene changes again. A person wonders, have we fallen behind? How is this possible? Another person says, it seems like Kim goes to the dungeons first, reserves them, clears them, and then no one knows where he goes after that. The person sitting in the chair says, I don't know. Do whatever you want, but block his path. Kim yells, it'll only take 5 minutes, and then we'll finish the reservations. The old man replies, that sounds good. If we pay him, he'll tell us which dungeons he's going to raid next. Then he says, I think the Academy's dungeon management team is putting pressure on us not to do this. That's why it's possible that the dungeon management team is supporting Kim. He then yells, are you trying to say that this useless Academy has put pressure on the dungeon management team? How could that be possible? And who exactly is this Academy? After that, the person explains, this isn't just any academy, it's none other than the Grand Sword Sect's daughter's dream academy. As soon as he hears the name of the Sword Sect, sweat starts dripping from his forehead, and he says, now I feel like we don't have any tricks left. But he still yells, no. I have no idea about this, but block his path anyway because the East Academy will never win. And even if the East Academy loses, you know exactly what's going to happen to us. Then, the scene shifts, and we see Leo clearing a dungeon. We check the list where Leo has cleared 126 dungeons, while Kim has cleared only 125. The scene shifts again, and now Kim has cleared 131 dungeons, while Leo is still at 128. Then, once more, the scene shifts, and we see Leo clearing 135 dungeons, while Kim is stuck at 134. In the final scene, we see the last day of the contest where Kim has cleared a total of 141 dungeons, and Leo has also cleared 141. Next, we are shown the contest meeting room where a person exclaims, how did they both end up with equal points? Then, Cheyenne starts speaking, one participant is clearly cheating, so they shouldn't take first place. To which the second person responds, cheating? We didn't cheat at all. We played according to the rules and regulations, and whatever happened to you was just an accident. Cheyenne gets extremely angry and says, an accident? An accident happens once or twice, not every day. This is just cheating. The second person retorts, do you have any proof that we cheated? Suddenly, a third person enters and says, please, you two, calm down. We've decided that two people can't share the same place. Besides, we don't have concrete proof that Li Xian cheated. Hearing this, Li Xian is very happy and says, see, I told you so. The second person then says, I have a great plan to get us the first place. Next, the scene shifts, and we are introduced to a person named Xin Yanchu, who is the head of the dungeon management team. He says, so you've arrived. He's talking to none other than Kim. He continues, your name is participant Kim Sojin, right? And you participant Li Xian? You've arrived at the perfect time. Let me explain the rules and regulations. The match will be simple. If you clear it, you'll take first place. He explains the rules. The rules are simple. You'll see 3 dungeons in front of you. You have to select one and clear it as quickly as possible. The one who clears it first will win. Kim asks, what if a participant clears one dungeon and immediately clears another? Will they win then? Sinyanchu replies, yes, you've understood it correctly. He continues, we initially thought the participants would clear 2 dungeons, but we couldn't find any location with 4 dungeons together. So, this is the plan. He says humorously, isn't it great that a person clears one dungeon and then immediately moves to another? In his mind, he thinks, if I don't do this, I'll have so much paperwork to handle. Young Suk then adds, anyway, these dungeons are only 2-star difficulty, so it won't be too hard. You can decide which dungeons to choose. Kim thinks to himself, why do I feel like there's some kind of trickery going on here? Let's see what happens next. Kim says, alright, first, I want to choose. Leo replies, okay, you can pick first, whatever you want. Kim responds, I'll go with the dungeon on the right. Leo then says, alright, in that case, I'll choose the left dungeon. Both head toward their respective dungeons. As Kim moves forward, he starts hearing some strange things in his mind. Lee Seon, from behind, says to him, don't get too upset this time. Kim is confused, unable to understand her words. But before he can think much, their leader announces, ready, set, go. Kim and Leo enter their dungeons, but Kim can't shake the thought of why Leo had said that. He keeps pondering the meaning behind her words. But then, he decides to let it go, telling himself, whatever she said, I won't focus on it. I need to focus on winning. Kim moves deeper into the dungeon. He thought there would be many covered monsters, but strangely, he hasn't seen any yet. He hasn't even heard their breathing. Doubts begin to creep into his mind. Could this be a hidden dungeon? He wonders. Just then, an earthquake-like tremor shakes the dungeon. The aura around them changes, and Kim gets a feeling he's never had before. Suddenly, a huge claw appears before him, followed by a lion-like monster with wings. This is a matcore. Kim exclaims. But why is there a 4-star monster in a 2-star dungeon? Before Kim can fully process, the monster attacks. Kim quickly reacts and unleashes a powerful blow. With lightning speed, his attack decapitates the monster. That was too easy, Kim mutters as he stands victorious. He rushes outside, still trying to figure out the oddities. I handled the matcore well, but this dungeon should have only had 2-star monsters. How did it end up with a 4-star one? Kim wonders. He's particularly concerned about Leo. I don't think Leo's dungeon could also be a 2-star dungeon. It's just not possible. When Kim exits, the leader is shocked that he's out of the dungeon so quickly. How did you clear the dungeon in such a short time? The leader asks. Kim, frustrated, yells, it was a matcore. The leader, even more shocked, asks, but this is a 2-star dungeon. How could there be a matcore? Kim calmly responds, yes, there was a matcore. You can go check for yourself. Wait, so you killed it? The leader asks, still astonished. Kim nods, yes, I killed it. This match was completely unfair. I request a rematch. The leader replies, I understand your request, but we can't cancel the match. Kim, confused, asks, why not? The leader explains, because Leo hasn't come out of her dungeon yet. Kim's face falls. That's strange, he mutters. Something feels off. Meanwhile, we see Leo, still deep inside her dungeon. I've been walking for so long, but why haven't I seen a single monster? She wonders aloud. Suddenly, a massive monster lurks behind her, a threat she hasn't noticed yet. In a flashback, Leo's brother is seen in pain, telling her, I'm hurting so much. Leo, trying to comfort him, says, just bear with it. Her brother, teasing, remarks, your hand is getting rough. When you become a pro hunter, you'll be able to take down monsters with ease. Leo, a little irritated, responds, how does someone as weak as you talk so big? She then asks, by the way, why did you reject Dad's order? Her brother replies, I don't want to cheat, even if it's Dad's order. He adds, when you become a pro hunter, you'll never need to compromise. You'll always do what your heart tells you. Leo is standing up and says, you're going way ahead now. Then, she shouts, asking, why are you smiling in such a strange manner? You know that people outside talk about you, right? They say you lazy and can't do anything. Leo responds, no one is judging you for cheating or not, but lately, I've noticed you're being nice to others. If you keep doing this, you're going to lose something important. And if you can't take care of yourself, at least try to make some sense of things. Why can't you compromise here? What's this whole, true hunter, thing? Look around. All the old hunters are either dead or too old to continue. In this era, it's not about becoming a hero. Just become a professional hunter. Then, the other person says, I have to do this, leaving Leo completely shocked. They add, I'm just a politician, not corrupt or someone who sold their soul. Leo responds, you always find an excuse for everything. The brother agrees, yeah, that's just who I am. Meanwhile, Leo is running somewhere, reflecting on her brother's words. It's hard for her to believe that Lee Seon will meet someone one day. As Leo pushes through a crowd, shouting for people to get out of her way, she wonders how she ended up without seeing any monsters. Suddenly, a dangerous aura surrounds her. The scene shifts to Kim, who wonders if Lee Seon has come out yet. Shin Yenshu informs him that Lee Seon hasn't cleared the dungeon yet and there's no need for a rematch since Kim has already won. Kim wonders why something feels off. He feels that something big is happening. He suspects the misjudgment might have been caused by Lee Seon, and if it was on his side, Lee Seon would have been out by now. Just then, another person enters and asks, why is he acting this way? The leader wonders if something's wrong, and Kim explains that the power device has suddenly increased. Initially, it showed a 3-star dungeon, but now it's a 4-star one. The leader asks, is the device broken? Kim starts recalling past events and asks Sword Saint about distortion. Sword Saint explains that when magic power suddenly increases, it's called distortion, which also increases the difficulty of dungeons. Kim asks, how is this possible? The power device has never malfunctioned before. The leader agrees, saying, this is the first time this has happened in my 20 years of experience. Then, Kim recalls what Sword Saint had told him before, explaining that such a thing had only happened when Cataclysm occurred, a time of great destruction. The leader turns to Kim and suggests, we should call professional hunters to assess the situation. As the leader turns away to speak, he notices that Kim is no longer there. The scene then shifts back to Leo, who is vomiting blood and extremely angry. She wonders how a monster could be here, reflecting on what her brother always said about justice. After that, we are introduced to a monster known as the 6-star monster, named Nakura. We see this monster advancing towards Leo to attack. Leo is wondering, how could this all be real? In this world, the word justice doesn't exist. It only exists in fairy tales. She continues, I am not going to die the same stupid death as my brother. As she's lost in thought, the monster attacks Leo. But then, she's shocked by something, and just then, a figure appears in front of her. Leo says, what are you doing here? It turns out to be none other than Kim, who has blocked the monster's attack. We can see Kim struggling but managing to block the attack. He tells Leo, listen, Leo, can you move away from here? It's getting too tough for me to handle. If you move aside, it'll be easier for me to manage. While you, running, I'll keep the monster distracted for a bit. Leo, confused, asks, what are you even doing here? Kim, thinking to himself, says, I knew this 6-star monster would be something like this. He continues, I've put all my effort into deflecting its attack. To distract the monster, Kim shouts, hey, goat-faced monster, look at me. This enrages the monster, and it turns its attention to Kim, attacking him. Kim, in his mind, thinks, good thing I managed to draw its attention. The monster attacks Kim at high speed, but Kim blocks the attack with his spear. He thinks, if I take even one hit, I could be seriously injured. But the good thing is that I've understood its attack pattern. If I continue reflecting its attacks, I can handle this. However, the monster manages to use its horns to stab Kim through his chest, causing significant injuries and pain. The monster then pushes Kim back, and blood starts leaking from his body. The monster creates an aura around itself and begins preparing a powerful attack. Kim tells Leo, hey clever girl, I don't think I'll be able to make it out of this. Can you still not move? Leo, feeling helpless, asks, why are you going this far? Why are you even trying to save me? Even if you do, what's in it for you? She continues, if you manage to save me, it won't benefit you at all. All you needed to do was raid the dungeon, and you, win. Don't think you'll gain anything by saving me. Kim responds, yeah, you're right. I joined this competition for the money so I could earn a large sum. Leo shouts, then what are you doing here? Go. You'll win, and it'll be over. And don't think I'll be grateful to you for this. After everything you've done, don't expect me to be indebted to you. Kim replies, no, I don't think like that. I know what you did was wrong, but I also know this is probably the first time you've cheated. And while I have no plans to forgive you, I can't just let you die here. As Kim says this, Leo begins to see him as someone resembling her brother. Memories of her brother's words return. I know it's hard to believe, but you will meet someone like this. Kim, thinking about his mentor's teachings, recalls a lecture where he was told, you can create your domain according to your will, but most people don't understand that the domain of thought is also a form of judgment. Someone once told me that if you make a move first and think about it later, you'll be too late. But if you think and then move, you are in trouble. Kim, remembering this advice, thinks, it's true, I need to act first and think later. At this point, we see Kim lost in thought, reflecting on everything that has happened. This deep thinking brings a surge of power within him, and Kim begins to understand that the current situation is something he needs to leave to his sixth sense. The next moment, we see the monster's hand swiftly heading towards Kim, but Kim quickly activates his sixth sense, specifically his transcendent ability. With impressive speed, Kim dodges the attack, and when it strikes the ground, a tremendous amount of pressure is released. Kim starts to think, what's going on? I managed to dodge that attack so easily. In fact, I now have a feeling that I can predict where its next move will come from. And so, we see Kim easily dodging the monster's attacks, analyzing its movements. He realizes that by observing its muscles closely, he can predict the monster's every move. If this continues, there's a good chance he could defeat it. But, Kim knows he must hold out until the pro hunter team arrives. After all, the leader outside must have already requested reinforcements, so help shouldn't take too long. However, the real concern is how long Leo can endure, and Kim thinks to himself, I don't have much time left. If I waste any more, the monster could hurt Leo. The first must defeat it now. Kim then uses the power of approval, enveloping himself in an aura. He injects this aura into his spear and attacks the monster. However, the monster also creates its own aura, a sign of its strength. Kim observes, I can feel it. If I keep fighting like this, I'll never win. I need to combine the power of approval with my spear to create a much stronger attack. If I do that, I might be able to defeat it in one strike. With this resolve, Kim rushes towards the monster. The next moment, all we see is blood, lots of blood. Leo, watching the scene, is stunned. Kim stands unharmed before her, while the monster's head is detached from its body. Leo, still in shock, turns to Kim and says, this doesn't make sense. How did you do that? We then see Kim's progress statistics. Chiron's level has increased by 13. 1, Shang's by 7, and Merlin's by 9. Kim leads Leo out of the dungeon, and he says, I came to save you, but now I feel like I'm making a fool of myself. You were already dead, please, tell me you're not dead. I've made so much effort to save you. Leo responds, I'm not dead yet. Kim sighs in relief, that's good. Now, we've got nothing left to do here. Let's get out of here quickly. As they exit the dungeon, the team leader starts shouting, where have you two been? How did you get this injured? What happened inside? Kim responds, all right, I'll explain everything. But first, could you call the medical team? You can see our condition. The leader yells for the medical team to hurry, as the situation has become an emergency. Leo, still upset, says to Kim, I told you before, I'll never see you as my lifesaver. And honestly, I don't think I've said anything wrong. Kim, not wanting to argue, replies, fine, you're right. As you want, I don't have any expectations from you. Then, a few people approach, suggesting, how could this happen? We think we should send them to the hospital first. Just then, a man steps forward and begins telling the story of the incident. The news of what happened in the dungeon contest spreads worldwide, sparking a wave of curiosity. It's reported that the 6-star monster Narakura appeared in a 2-star dungeon, something that had never happened before. There's never been a case where monsters suddenly changed like this, and it grabs the attention of both the government and various associations. However, no one knows Kim Shuzon's name, his hero status is still unknown. People are asking, who is this guy? Which academy did he come from? He defeated a monster like Narakura on his own. And so, Dream Academy gains widespread recognition. The scene shifts, and someone comments, the apostles of Tempest are watching you. Hearing this, Kalia is shocked. The man continues, the changes that occurred inside the dungeon in Korea might be the reason you've been called. You must be aware that Kim won the contest, and he has already received his prize. Kim, now happy, says, alright, I can now choose any weapon from the Transition Academy. After all, I've got the money for it. After that, we see Kim entering the hospital, and he's talking to himself, saying, well, this is a pretty good situation. I've got 4 million, and the price of the lens of luck is only 1 million. I've been eyeing this particular spare item for a while now. He continues, the price of this spare is just 1 million, but the problem is, I don't know the price of the free pass yet. And what if my free pass expires? Will everything inside reset? I lose all the items. Kim then ponders, to be blunt, if I wait here, the prices of all these items are going to increase, and you know how bad my luck is. So, before that happens, I need to buy everything now. That way, even if the prices go up, I won't regret it too much. Next, we see Kim opening the shop of Transition Academy. Inside, there's a ring called Kata Simus. This ring, as described, attracts the opposite sex to you. He also comes across something called Glipna. It's said that this rope can even capture fox gold, and the material used to make it doesn't exist in this world. Furthermore, no one in this world can break this rope. Kim comments, the lens of luck might be a great item, but I need to check out some other things too so I don't run out of money. He thinks to himself, it would be smarter to buy all the items now, before their prices go up. Otherwise, if the prices increase later, I won't be able to buy them. And some items that should cost over 10 million are available for only 2.5 million right now. Even though these are copies of the weapons, their powers are incredibly OP, and they can rival the real ones. But the main thing is, I can't ask for a price reduction because the price is already quite low. Kim then reflects, there's a high chance that the prices will go up later. But the biggest problem is, these items don't show their powers. I'll need to research all the different mythologies to understand the effects of these weapons. What if I can't find the mythology for a weapon? That's going to be a huge problem for me. I can't remember all the mythologies either since my mind isn't that sharp. He wonders, could there be a community in Transition Academy where all this information is shared? He then checks out the Academy's community, which is called Freshman Stock Board. However, he's puzzled about why he can't type any messages or leave comments. He decides that when the mentor arrives, he'll ask them about it. Kim scrolls through and finds some information. A user has posted that you should never mock the items from Transition Academy's stores. Always choose your weapons wisely. I've used 100 pieces of gear, and I've mastered them. I'll share my views with everyone. Kim is shocked upon reading this, thinking, this person has mastered 100 pieces of gear. The person then talks about the Aegis shield, saying, this isn't a shield, it's just a piece of garbage. Its effect is terrible. While it can block incoming attacks, the face of the shield is hideous. And if anyone looks at it, they'll turn to stone, even the user. He continues, never buy it. It's trash. If I were to rate it, I wouldn't even give it a 0. 5 out of 10. But if I were to tell my friend, I'd say it's a perfect 10 out of 10. Kim reflects, maybe this person has mastered 100 pieces of gear because they are explaining everything in such detail. I guess they must be telling the truth. The person then talks about the 87th numbers bash, an amazing item, and says, it's awesome. You must purchase it no matter what. Most people don't know about it because it's just a subspace pouch, but it reduces the weight of whatever you put in it by 70%. You can store a lot of items, and all the items in this pouch will freeze time. I went through a lot of trouble to get this, and you, LL, need it too. I highly recommend you purchase it. Its durability is excellent. Kim is interested now, thinking, is it called the Wish? He then wonders, could this item be from Roman mythology? It might belong to the goddess Hera. This pouch was used by the hero Perseus when he stored Medusa's head in it. Finally, Kim decides, let me check the price of this item. Just then, a notification pops up on his screen saying that the price of the item is being settled according to the casualty rate. We then see that the cost of this bag is 1 lakh. Kim starts thinking, the price isn't that high, it's not too special, but maybe I should buy it. He continues, I feel like I can really make use of it. It will help me increase my lecture progress significantly. But then, he also notices the downside. The weight won't be entirely eliminated, it will only be reduced by 70%. Kim then says, if I go into the dungeons and defeat the monsters there, I can easily collect them. Suddenly, he remembers something and says, wait, that's a great idea. I can carry it around and also do some scouting with it, making my daily missions much faster to complete. Only a fool would not buy this. I'm definitely getting it. A few days later, we see Kim with the bag, now purchased. He says, this is amazing. It looks so good in real life too. Even though I don't know much about it yet, the aura of this item is just incredible. We also see that Kim has bought the pouch, which he's now wearing on his waist. But soon, Kim starts crying because his bank account is now completely empty. The 1 lakh he spent on the pouch has now turned into 3 lakh. He curses his bad luck. Just then, Shun shows up and asks, why are you going to raid dungeons? You were just discharged from the hospital yesterday. You should be resting at home. Kim responds, rest? Why should I rest? I'm completely fine now, and I can make money by raiding dungeons. Shun, surprised, asks, money? You already had so much money from your big prize. What happened to it? Kim replies, all of that money is gone now. Shun then asks, did you really spend all of it? What did you spend it on? She looks at the pouch on Kim's waist and instantly understands. But she's also confused because, to her, the pouch looks like it cost more than 4 lakh. Shun then asks, so, are you really excited about this? Kim, excited, replies, yes, I'm really excited. Shun, thinking to herself, recalls how Kim was so down when she took him to buy weapons. She then says, alright, well, it's your money, so I can't say anything. You can spend it however you want. The scene shifts to Kim entering a 4-star dungeon. Shun warns him, be careful, this is a 4-star dungeon. You need to stay alert and watch your surroundings. But if any dangerous situation arises, I'll protect you. Suddenly, the statues of the ghoul monsters begin to shake. Kim says, these ghouls have high defense. It's the perfect time for me to test this pouch and understand its power. He continues, I'll attack first to see if I can defeat them without relying on magic or my approved mountain abilities. Can I defeat them using only the pouch? Despite the monsters having strong defense, the pouch seems even stronger. Kim thinks, at least I'll be able to land an attack on them. As the battle begins, the monsters fail to react to his attack, and their defenses prove useless. Kim's strike cuts through them easily. Shun is shocked as well. Both Kim and Shun stand frozen, wondering what just happened. Shun, thinking to herself, realizes, I should be asking him what just happened. Kim finishes off the monsters without using any magic, and Shun says, I'm not even surprised anymore. After being around Kim, I've gotten used to all this. We see Kim slicing through the monsters like carrots. Shun wonders, what kind of ghoul monsters are these that cut so easily, like tofu? Kim then pulls out the pouch, thinking, I've collected quite a lot of monsters today. Shun, puzzled, asks, how are you even going to fit them in that pouch? It looks like your hand won't even fit in it. Kim quickly starts putting the monsters into the pouch, saying, it's a bit heavy, even though the weight's been reduced by 70%. He pulls out the monsters again, realizing that it's just too much to carry. Kim is saying that once he clears all the dungeons completely, he will gather all the monsters and take them with him. Hearing this, Shun, curious, asks if she can ask him something. She says, I am really curious about something after seeing you. Did you get 4 million yen in prize money or 400 million? Kim replies, no, I only got 1 million. Then Shun asks, so how did you buy so many amazing items? Kim lies, saying, I saw a hunter shop and bought them from there. Shun, excited, asks, where is this hunter shop? Kim replies, it's near my house, and it was called Transgen Shop. Shun, very pleased, says, Transgen Shop? Is that the place where you bought all those incredible items? Then take me there, I need to buy some items too. But Kim crushes her dreams, telling her, no, you won't be able to go there right now. When I went, they were packing up to leave for a tour. Shun, skeptical, asks, are you telling me the truth? Kim, looking confident, responds, do I look like someone who would lie to you? Shun, not convinced but accepting his answer, says, okay, if you say so, I'll believe you. However, Kim is thinking to himself, sorry, I didn't want to lie to you. Just then, an earthquake shakes the place. Kim, looking concerned, says, this place feels a lot more dangerous now. The monsters in the area start looking at Kim, and Kim, realizing the situation, says, this is going to be tough. Shun, drawing her sword, says, I guess I'll have to handle this. Kim, stopping her, says, no, you stay back. I want to test something. Internally, Kim is thinking, I need to see the full power of my spear because I haven't seen it all yet. It shocked me when it sliced a monster in half with one strike. He wonders, what will happen if I combine my mana with the spear and use my approve of mountain skill? We see Kim start using his skills, injecting his mana into the spear. The monsters charge at him, but Kim stays focused on his mana. Slowly, an aura begins to form around him, growing stronger. Shun, amazed, watches as Kim combines his mana with his approve of mountain skill. The monsters, seeing his power, begin to panic. Kim condenses his mana and directs it towards his spear, shooting it like a gun. The blast destroys all the monsters, leaving a huge crater in the ground. Shun, shocked, says, I have no words for this. As we look at the massive crater, we learn that the attack was made through the spear, and Kim wonders, I know this spear is a copy, but how can it have so much power? Kim reflects, experts say we shouldn't depend on our weapons, but this weapon is so powerful that I feel like I don't need to depend on anyone. He then thinks, I might need to revisit the Transgen Academy store and check the reviews again, maybe I'll find something new. But the problem is, I don't have enough money to buy more weapons, and if I buy too many, it will affect my casualty rate. Kim realizes, I don't have much time. I need to attend as many lectures as I can in the 25 days left. With renewed determination, he starts practicing. Later, Shun approaches and says, Kim, I forgot to tell you, Jimin wants to meet you. Can she? Kim is surprised, asking, Jimin? Who is she? He then asks, is she your little sister? Shun responds, no, she's not my little sister, but her name is Jimin. I should let you know, she's an apprentice of Magic Scent, and you must have heard of her. Kim is intrigued, an apprentice of Magic Scent? I've heard a lot about her. We learn that Magic Scent has selected her apprentices secretly, choosing only the most talented individuals. Kim says, I've heard a lot about her, and I think she's going to be the next Magic Scent. Kim then asks Shun, why does she want to meet me? Shun explains, the dungeon ratings have changed, and she wants to talk to you about it. Kim starts thinking to himself that she wants to ask about the distortion, but then he stops. Shun, on the other hand, tells him that he doesn't know how much pressure she was putting on him to meet her, but he had delayed it a bit, saying that Kim is still recovering. Kim then asks, is she the person? To which Shun replies, no, she's not like that. Besides, you don't need to worry about it. Kim says, alright, if that's the case, I can talk to her. Shun thanks him and leaves, saying, I'll contact you after a while. Soon after, Shun messages Jimin that Kim has agreed. A light starts shining behind her, and then someone says, Shun, I'm here. Shun is surprised to see him and asks, how did you get here so quickly? Jimin responds, you told me I could come anytime. Jimin then asks, first, tell me where is the person you've been praising so much? We are introduced to this person, Jung Jimin, who is an apprentice at the Magic Center. Shun is shocked, asking, how is this even possible? Kim looks at her, asking, a high schooler? What is a high schooler doing here? Jimin is also surprised, asking, how can this be possible? Kim then asks, who are you? Jimin yells, where did you buy this from? Kim asks, what are you talking about? But Jimin isn't listening. She continues, why didn't you tell me where you bought this from? Kim gets frustrated and asks, first, tell me who you are and how you are talking to me like this. Jimin replies, if you don't like the way I am talking, you can speak however you want. Hearing this, Kim is left speechless. Then, Shun arrives and exclaims, what happened here? As soon as she enters, she grabs Jimin and says, if you keep yelling like this, Kim will be surprised. Jimin responds, no, let me go. I need to talk to him. Shun says, no, stay right here, and Kim is taken aback upon hearing the name, Uni. After a while, we see Uni quietly sitting. Shun apologizes to Kim, saying, sorry, Uni got too excited. Whenever she sees something new, she gets too curious. Kim then asks, is this the person? Shun confirms, yes, this is Uni Jimin, an apprentice at the Magic Center, just like I told you before. Kim says, but how is this possible? Whenever I searched for information about her online, I found that she only lives inside the fortress, and her face didn't match what I expected. Shun explains, yes, she changes her appearance to keep her real identity hidden. Kim asks, is changing your appearance even possible? Uni stands up and says, yes, it's not perfect, but it's still possible. I can change my body shape and size. If I see someone once, I can look like them. Uni clarifies, it's not that easy, it's actually pretty difficult. She then changes the topic and asks, by the way, where did you get that pouch from? Kim replies, what, the space pouch? Are you talking about this? Uni rushes to Kim and says, yes, I'm talking about that. How is this possible? I've been trying to make one for years, but every method I tried failed. Kim asks Shun, have you ever seen something like this? Shun replies, no, I hadn't seen it before today. I only saw it when it was with you because it's so impressive. Kim agrees, yes, it's definitely impressive. It looks pretty good too. Uni then yells, it's not just impressive, it's awesome. Don't you realize how good it is? Uni starts explaining how any object placed inside the pouch will freeze time, and 70% of its weight will be reduced. She gives a full lecture on it. Kim starts thinking, if I show this to my workshop people, they'll start yelling at me. Then Uni says, sell it to me. I'll pay whatever price you ask. Kim responds, it could be a bit troublesome. Uni asks, tell me, how much money do you need? Do you need 50 million, 60 million, or maybe 100 million? Upon hearing 100 million, Kim's eyes widen in shock. He then says to Uni, do you even know how much money that is, or are you just talking out of thin air? Uni quickly responds, no, I'm not joking. I'm being completely serious. She continues, if you just ask for money, I can't give it to you right away. For that, I'll need to do a little bit of sponsorship work, but I can easily gather 100 million. And do you know what? This space pouch has a value even greater than 100 million. Kim starts thinking, a 1000 square foot pouch only costs about 30 million, but this specific Kibi's pouch. She's offering me 100 million for it? Doesn't that seem a bit much? Then, Kim starts to doubt, I'm not so sure she can really gather that much money. Kim wonders, if I do get 100 million, I could repurchase the Kibi's pouch. But it's not just about that. With all the expensive weapons and lectures, I could buy them as well. That way, I could solve all my problems. But still, Kim says, turning down the offer, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Shun asks, what? You can't do that? But you needed money, didn't you? Yooni adds, you could even cover all your losses with that 100 million. Kim responds, fine, touch it first, then we'll talk. When Yooni touches the pouch, she's immediately shocked by its power. Kim says, now you understand. This pouch is bound to me. No one else can touch it. Kim thinks to himself, I just received a message that if anyone else tries to repurchase the pouch, they can never buy it again. And they can't even sell it to someone else. Kim is relieved, thinking, at least now she'll calm down. But Yooni is even more excited. Wait, is this artifact made of 5 circuits? I thought it would be made from 4. This is truly amazing. Tell me, where did you buy this from? She raises her voice, just tell me the name of the place, and I'll give you 1 million yen right now. Shun says, please, quiet down. Shun then explains everything as Kim had instructed. Yooni reacts, so you are saying you bought it from a random store near your house, but that store isn't there anymore? That's really unfortunate. Kim thinks, well, at least she's calmed down. Then, Yooni says, let me at least do some research on it. Kim asks, what do you mean by research? Yooni replies, I'm serious. I can't touch the pouch because it's soul bonded to you, but I can still research it indirectly. I'll even pay you for it. Kim thinks to himself, well, if that's how it is, I guess it's fine. What could happen to me? I'm the owner of it, after all. The narrator explains, Kim's pouch doesn't shock him because it's soul bonded to him. But if anyone else touches it, they'll experience a shock. Yooni will have Kim do the research for her, but only through his touch. Kim wonders, this won't interfere with any casualties, will it? Yooni looks at him with hopeful eyes. Kim says, fine, it doesn't sound that bad. If you need help with research, I'll assist you. Yooni's face lights up with happiness. Kim then asks, do you want to start researching my Kibi's pouch right now? Yooni refuses, no, I don't have the materials with me. I'll invite you to my research lab, and we can do it there. But first, I have something important to talk about. Yooni continues, I almost forgot why I came here in the first place. Kim asks, are you asking about distortion? Yooni replies, yes, you're right. I need the details on what happened there. A bit later, Kim tells her everything. Yooni says, so you faced the Korra monster there, and the device couldn't track it? That's really strange. Kim agrees, yeah, it's strange. Yooni asks, how did you defeat the Narukura monster? Kim replies, maybe I was just lucky. Yooni, in disbelief, says, you are telling me you defeated a 6-star monster just by luck? If you couldn't condense your aura, you wouldn't even be able to scratch it. Kim shrugs, yeah, maybe I was just lucky that time. Kim was thinking to himself, if I had only used the power of Approval Mountain, I could never have defeated him. If I didn't have Merlin's mana, I would have been finished long ago. As soon as he thought of Merlin's name, something clicked in Kim's mind. He started to think about the last time he had attended Merlin's lecture. Kim then spoke to Jimin, I might be making a mistake here, but I want to tell you something. Jimin, curious, asked, okay, so what kind of opinion do you want to share? Kim explained, mana and magic are, in a way, a derivation of mana. How do you use mana? And how do others think of using it? That's what makes individual perspectives so unique. Jimin nodded and replied, yes, you're absolutely right. It could be the same in dungeon distortion as well. Hearing this, Jimin became very excited. She stood up suddenly and said, would you tell me more in detail? Kim started explaining, if we could change magic and aura, dungeon distortion might be the same. It could even be the result of someone's interference. I think this distortion could be caused by someone. It might even be artificial. Kim then thought to himself, what am I talking about in front of this genius? Oh well, forget it. He stood up and said, never mind, I think I've said some nonsense. You don't need to take me seriously. Jimin, still curious, responded, so who are you? What are you trying to say? Kim was taken aback. Jimin continued, I'm asking if you're a magic scholar. Kim, shouting, replied, can't you see? I'm becoming a pro hunter. Jimin responded, then tell me, how do you explain things so well? And tell me, what is the law of the world? Where did you learn so much about magic aura? Kim thought to himself, this is Merlin's idea. My brain's getting all confused. Jimin then said, you are amazing. And you have that pouch too. She became anxious and asked, wait, are you the one who made all those space pouches? Then she said, a normal pro hunter who is actually a secret genius. A magic scholar. Kim replied, what nonsense are you talking about? He thought, this girl's mind must be messed up. He then said, no, I'm not a magic scholar. Jimin, more determined, said, okay, then tell me more about your ideas. Kim explained, I've added some thoughts here based on what Merlin taught me. I never imagined it would have such a big reaction. Jimin began teaching her class, asking, what do you know about the fundamentals of mana? Kim explained everything he knew, adding, this is pretty normal. Think about it, if the head of a transition academy answers questions, it's bound to spark curiosity. So, their knowledge is likely to be extraordinary. However, as he spoke, Kim suddenly thought, wait a minute. If I have this much knowledge, I could teach others and make money from it. Looking at Jimin, he thought, my brain's finally working properly. He continued, this makes so much sense. If I've loaned out my kibus, why not share my knowledge too and make money from it? After all, I've worked hard to acquire it. Kim thought, I shouldn't just let go of everything I've gained. I need to keep increasing my knowledge, because I am a candidate. Someone might come to me to learn, and I need to be prepared. Finally, Jimin responded, so, you don't know the basics, which means you don't know about sorcery either, right? Then Kim starts speaking. You saw it, right? My progress rate is only around 17%, so obviously, I can't go much beyond this level right now. Right after that, Uni stands there and says, thank you for giving me that idea earlier. It's been really useful for me, and I can also apply it to my research. Then Cheyenne chimes in from the back, I brought some snacks for you. Aren't you going to eat them? To that, Jimin, who's about to leave, replies, no, I've got unfinished work to complete first, and that's why I'll definitely invite you to the lab as well. Still, Cheyenne insists, but at least have a little bite before you go. Then Kim starts talking about Uni. If I look at her from a public perspective, she's quite a unique girl. Cheyenne agrees, yeah, you're right. I think Uni must have heard about this already. Even I worry sometimes. Can she really become the next magic saint? Kim thinks to himself, if I consider that Kalia is the sword saint and I've already met apprentices of the magic saints, then that in itself is a big deal. Still, it feels odd that I've met them already. Cheyenne then sits at the table and says, let them go. Let's have our meal. Kim nods, all right, thank you. While eating, Kim continues thinking, the next one is the grand voice. Maybe they might come and meet me. The scene shifts. Kim is now sitting somewhere alone, visibly frustrated. This lecture progress rate. It's increasing way too slowly. We get a clear look, Kim's lectures are progressing slowly indeed. Chiron's at 0.7%, Siddharth Gautam at 0.1%, Xiang Yang at 0.5%, and Merlin just 0.2%. But then Kim suddenly becomes motivated. Well, my daily tasks get completed quickly because I've got the current wish. But even if I have spare time, I should still keep training to improve my progress rate faster. At the very least, I want to finish one full lecture while I still have the free pass. He pauses, thinking, or maybe I might need to buy another free pass again to keep boosting my progress rate. Later, Kim goes to Miss Cheyenne and says, Miss Cheyenne, I wanted to ask you something. But we see that Miss Cheyenne is lost in her own thoughts. She's saying to herself, what do I do when the new candidates enter the academy? I can't train them all at once. I'll have to buy even more lectures. Hearing all this, Kim makes an awkward expression. Cheyenne keeps thinking aloud, I can't just hire any random person to come and start teaching the students. I'll also have to decide how much salary to give them. Kim finally walks up and asks, Miss Cheyenne, are you okay? Startled by his voice, Cheyenne jumps. Who's there? Oh. You were calling me? Kim responds, what's wrong? You didn't even hear me. What's bothering you? Cheyenne asks, so you were calling me? Kim says, yes, you seem very stressed lately. Cheyenne nods, I was just thinking, if I recruit more candidates, more students will enroll. But that also brings more challenges. That's what I've been trying to figure out. Kim thinks, wow. She already has so many problems of her own. Then Cheyenne asks, all right, tell me, why were you looking for me? Kim replies, oh, it's nothing serious. I just wanted to ask if there are any upcoming competitions, like the dungeon sweep contest or the academy tournament we had earlier. Could you check if there's anything like that happening in the next 20 days? Cheyenne checks her phone. I'm sorry, there aren't any competitions happening right now. Hearing that, Kim gets disappointed. Not even one? Cheyenne adds, well, there is a mock exam coming up next month at Hunter Miles Academy. We're then given some details about this mock exam. As the name suggests, it's not a real exam, but even so, anyone can become a pro hunter through it. However, if you fail, you'll have to wait an entire year to try again. The pressure is real. Hunter academies push their candidates to pass this mock test as soon as possible. Rumors even say that if you score high in this mock exam, your chances in the real pro hunter exam increase significantly. Kim starts thinking seriously. There are definitely going to be some strong contenders, probably even stronger than Lee Chan. And if I participate in this mock test, I could qualify for a scholarship. That would solve both my lecture and money problems. But then he remembers the catch. This exam is next month. And by then, my free pass will expire. So, after that, Kim starts speaking. Alright. I guess I don't really have any choice now. Still, let's see how far I can go if I give it my all. A little while later, we see a new scene where Kim is watching a lecture by Chiro. In the lecture, Chiro explains that techniques are never truly perfect. Situations change, and with that, your techniques must adapt too. But there's one thing more important than any technique, our institution. Kim, while watching the lecture, reflects, well, why did I never think this way before? And this transition academy, it's seriously overpowered. Then Chiro appears again and says, let me give you a quick reminder. The mock exam for the transgender program is coming up soon. Kim is clearly shocked hearing this. Chiro adds, let me give you a piece of advice. Don't stress too much about the mock exam. After all, it's just a mock. I'll explain more in the next lecture. Kim, still confused, wonders, did I hear something wrong just now? Alright guys, here's something you should know. This mock exam isn't some kind of hunter exam. It's a standard practice test used everywhere so that teachers can evaluate their students' level. Then Kim says, wait, even in Transition Academy they conduct mock tests. Right then, he gets a notification on his phone. It's the official alert for the Transition Academy mock exam. Kim stares at it in disbelief. This is real. It's actually happening. And it even grants licenses? This feels just like a real hunter examination. He continues, now I remember. When I first saw the Transition Academy advertisement, I noticed a 5th grade sage and a 9th grade sword master. Back then I thought they were just exaggerating, but now I'm realizing it was all true. But almost instantly, Kim loses hope. Forget it. Why would I even take a mock exam? I'm way below their level. What's the point of trying? Trying to distract himself, he opens another lecture, hoping to improve his lecture progress rate. But just as he starts, a different teacher, someone from the spear class, starts shouting, your mock exam is coming up soon. If you have the motivation, go and pass it. You should take it as soon as you can. Use your power of opportunity skill, even if you retrash, clear it with your pride. The lecture ends, and Kim mutters, what the heck is going on? These aren't just recordings. Why is every lecture today focusing on this mock exam? Why is there so much pressure on me to take it? Then Kim stops, puzzled. Wait a minute. Siddharth Gautam and Merlin, they aren't saying the same thing, right? But as we see next, both of them are, in fact, encouraging him to take the mock test as soon as possible. Kim lies down and sighs. Well, this isn't the first time the Transition Academy has acted strangely. But seriously, is this mock exam really that important? Let's check the community to see what others are saying about it. He opens the community section and finds a post by someone who writes, hey guys, how's everyone doing? Seems like most of you are preparing for the Transition Academy mock test. I tried asking around about where it's happening and who's conducting it, but no one knows. Kim thinks to himself, wow, his situation sounds just like mine. He scrolls quickly through his phone until something catches his eye. A user named Ruler of the Forest has posted something. I recommend taking this job. Since you're a freshman, it'll give you a ton of experience, and it'll also boost your lecture progress rate. Kim says, yeah, I should definitely check this out. It might really help speed up my progress rate. And finally, he says to himself, let's try it once and see what happens. If it works, it might just turn out to be a good decision. We cut to the next morning. Kim is standing in front of a door, staring at his phone. He taps on a notification from his mock test app. A message pops up, your casualty level is being measured. Another message immediately follows, do you want to start the mock test now? There are two options, yes and no. Then it says, it's free for the first time. Kim reads that and says, free for the first time, huh? Why do I always feel like I'm doing something shady whenever I use free stuff? He pauses, then corrects himself, no, what am I thinking? I should be focusing on making more money. Alright then, let's accept it. Without wasting time, Kim selects yes and chooses battle mode. He hypes himself up, even if I get matched with a 9th class sword master, I'm ready to fight. With a confident, let's go, his energy surges. From here, the story gets more intense. A message arrives, your custom mock exam is being generated. The difficulty is being calibrated through Transcend settings. There are 7 subjects, and Kim has to score high in each one. The Transcend mock exam begins. Another notification pops up, your first subject is battle mode. It's being created in real time. Kim is stunned. It's starting now? Like, right now? Then he reads further, you'll face 15 stages. Based on the pattern, the first level might have a 5 or 6 star monster, so by the 15th level, I could be facing a 20-star monster? Just then, light starts bursting out from Kim's phone. What the heck? Why is my phone glowing like this? He wonders, does this mean the monster is about to appear right here? And it does. A monster begins emerging from the phone. Kim stares in disbelief. It's growing, and still growing? It's not stopping? The monster finishes materializing. It's not just any beast, it's a dragon. A seriously cool-looking one. Compared to it, Kim looks tiny. Another message appears, level 1 monster, defeat it within 30 minutes. Kim reacts with a bit of sarcasm, yeah, sure. How am I supposed to do that? These Transcend people have lost their minds. But the dragon doesn't wait. It begins charging an attack, flame breath. Kim panics, wait. At least give me 2 minutes to prepare. The dragon clearly isn't listening. It unleashes its flame breath, blasting Kim with full force. The attack is so powerful, it knocks Kim out instantly. Another message pops up, level 1. Failed. Survival time, 2 seconds. Kim opens his eyes, confused and disoriented. He starts pacing around, muttering to himself, this is insane. How was I supposed to beat that? That wasn't just hard, it was absurd. He reflects, that was only level 1, and it was a dragon of ruin? Not even a minor dragon? Then what's level 15 going to be? A god? He begins spiraling, do Transcend students really fight gods? Or are they fighting other Transcenders? Then catches himself, no wait, they are the Transcenders. He imagines the gods, Herlas, Zeus, Buddha, watching him and laughing. Trying to calm himself down, Kim takes a deep breath. He sits and tells himself, okay, let's think, what's the next step? He checks his phone again. At least there's one good thing, he gets 10 tries. That gives him some hope, but deep down he knows? No matter how many times I try, nothing really changes. I always lose. But maybe this time, I'll see if I can actually win. And then, after that, we see Kim constantly giving tests and failing in them. He keeps failing over and over again. This failure seems endless. Eventually, we see Kim's face, which has become quite strange, revealing that he only has 5 chances left. Kim then says, man, at this rate, I feel like I'll never win. How am I ever going to defeat this? If it keeps going like this, I'll never beat it. If I keep practicing like this and keep taking tests, I'm going to lose my mind. Then, the scene changes to Kim sitting in a park, calmly drinking juice. He says, the dream of becoming a pro hunter is still far away. So, how can I even think about becoming a transient? I need to increase my progress rate as quickly as possible. As Kim thinks about this, we see him wondering if he can cancel his plan. Just then, his phone receives a notification from the Transition Academy, asking if he would like to take an explanation lecture for the mock test. Kim, filled with excitement, quickly picks up his phone and says, is there anyone who can tell me an attack pattern so that I can clear the first level? The message contains 3 lectures. Heaven Great Sage signified the guardian beast of the blue dragon. Kim is thrilled to see that Great Heaven Sage is included. After considering, he thinks, maybe I can learn these lectures side by side. That would be awesome. He quickly registers for the Heaven Great Sage lecture. In the lecture, Great Sage explains that the first level problem in the mock test is the Dragon of Reunion. He reassures the students that, even though this test seems extremely difficult, it's not as hard as it appears. He compares the battle to fighting Buddha, stating that it is equal to fighting heaven itself. Great Sage adds that many candidates struggle with their breathing during the test. Kim, lost in thought, reflects, it's been a long time since I saw Sun Wukong. The first time I saw him, I thought he was just a cosmic player, but now I know the truth. Sun Wukong then explains that the fight with the dragon will begin at a specific spot, and it will end just as quickly using this method. He says, if I explain it simply, once you avoid the dragon's breath, you'll have already won. Kim, still confused, asks, how do I do that? Sun Wukong responds, I'll show you. A dragon appears before Sun Wukong, the same one that had fought Kim earlier. Sun Wukong explains that instead of defeating the breath, the goal is to dodge the dragon's attacks. Once the dragon uses its breath, it won't be able to use it again for a while. He simplifies, after the breath is over, just hit it enough that it gives up. Sun Wukong then demonstrates using his staff, which is glowing brightly. Kim is amazed, saying, "Isn't that the heavenly meteor staff?" Sun Wukong attacks with it, and the power of the attack, called Meteor Grand Fall, is enough to defeat the dragon instantly. Kim watches in awe, and Sun Wukong casually says, "See? It's pretty easy." Kim, however, is still skeptical and responds, "Did you really just say that was easy?" Sun Wukong explains, "From my perspective, any candidate can clear it with the right ability. If something seems too difficult, just find the solution." Feeling defeated, Kim is left confused and mutters to himself, "What kind of lecture was that? Do they not know how to explain things properly? Or maybe they just don't get how explanations work?" He then sighs, "No, wait, Sun Wukong is the only one who explains things to me like this. Everyone else goes into way too much detail." The scene shifts to the second lecture, the guardian beast of the blue dragon. After that, he starts explaining, "Can you face the breath?" Then, he pauses and wonders to himself, "How can I fight against the breath?" He becomes quite sad and says, "How am I supposed to do this? Should I just give up? And anyway, I've already used all the free passes from the previous ones, so what's next?" He then looks at the third lecture titled Siegfried, where he talks about the fan fire ability. He explains that Siegfried is a famous hero in Northern Europe, often regarded as the dragon slayer. He then goes on to say that Siegfried earned this title not just for slaying dragons but for defeating the Fever dragon, the most feared one, which earned him the title. Next, the lecture starts, where it is mentioned that, as you already know, Fabrinet's special attack depends on breathing. Whether you can dodge it depends entirely on your ability to handle the breath. We are then shown Siegfried's face, and it's stated that this is the legendary dragon slayer. The instructor explains, if you want to win, you need to learn to dodge his attacks. We then see Kim, who says, "I think this is just like the first lecture, and I'm probably going to have to quit this too." But, the lecture continues, and the instructor explains, "If you're struggling, it means you haven't cleared the first level yet. Let me explain what's special about this. I'll give you two methods." The instructor begins with the first method, saying, "As soon as the dragon is summoned, it will immediately launch a breath attack. If you pre-prepared in advance, you can handle it and even counter its attack." He reassures everyone, it will be tough in the beginning, but with practice, it will eventually feel much easier. Kim listens carefully to his words, but there are still some candidates struggling to dodge the attack. The instructor then reveals the second method. For the second method, you need to bring something that shines, something that can distract the dragon. At this, Kim looks intrigued, clearly interested in this new approach. After that, the scene shifts. Someone is speaking, saying, "Thank you so much for coming here." We then see Kim holding what appears to be a full gold bar in his hand. He says, "Well, this looks pretty good. But let me tell you, it's not real. He just covered it to make it look like gold." You know how poor Kim really is. Next, we flash back to a moment earlier where Kim is explaining something. "You don't need to do much," he says. "Just bring something shiny, something that looks like gold. And also remember, that dragon is completely obsessed with gold. That's the only reason I ever defeated it, not because it doesn't have gold, but because it loves gold." He continues, "As soon as the dragon is summoned for your first level fight, just throw the gold bar at it. The dragon won't use its breath attack, because if it does, the gold will melt too, and he doesn't want that." Then Kim turns to the person and says, "Why are you looking at me like that? Are you trying to say I'm not using any skills? Well, that's not my problem. It's your problem. How you solve it is up to you. Whether you use a skill or something else is your choice. That's all I can tell you. If you still have doubts, you can ask me later." Back in the present, we see Kim walking away, saying, "Well, I don't have many options left. I'm just going to use this." He begins summoning the dragon again. And pretty quickly, the dragon actually appears. Kim explains, "As soon as the dragon was charging its breath, I threw the gold bar toward it." We then watch the gold bar fly straight toward the dragon. The dragon's eyes go wide the moment it sees the gold. Instead of attacking Kim, it chases after the gold, completely excited. Kim grins and says, "Finally, I stopped its breath attack. I think I can actually win this." But things turn quickly. The dragon soon realizes the truth, that the gold isn't real, just something coated to look like it. The dragon gets furious. It charges straight toward Kim, who yells, "This thing's gone totally mad. How can anyone call this monster just a lizard?" Then we see it happen. The dragon attacks and kills Kim. A notification pops up, "You failed level 1 again." Kim returns to his world, sighs, and says, "I lasted barely a minute. And that too, just barely. Now, Kim is left with only 4 chances. He mutters, how am I supposed to defeat a monster like that? He looks at something on his phone and is completely shocked. Chiron's lecture rating has increased from 0.7. Kim says, should I get gold armor? Then maybe he won't attack me at all. He adds, it's great that my progress rate has increased. Then the scene shifts again. Kim is back, fighting the dragon. He leaps high and comes down hard, trying to attack. But the dragon swipes him away with a kick. Kim scrambles to his feet and starts running. Damn it! Dodging this thing is impossible. I have to attack somehow, but there's just no time. He manages to get behind the dragon. But the dragon sees him. With a swing of its tail, it attacks. Kim exclaims, damn it! I can't dodge this. Desperate, he pulls something from his space pouch, gold biscuits. He throws the gold bars at the dragon. Immediately, the dragon's focus shifts from Kim to the gold. That's how Kim escapes the tail attack. He pants, that was too close. I almost died. But the dragon charges at him again. Kim yells, what is wrong with this thing? Why is it still so mad? Didn't that one gold bar satisfy it? He decides he needs to give it more gold. Kim pulls out a bunch of gold biscuits from his pouch. The dragon's attention instantly locks onto the shiny gold. It becomes so obsessed that it forgets about Kim completely. Seizing the moment, Kim wastes no time. He flies straight toward the dragon and activates his skill, Uproot of Mountain. Then he uses another skill, a momentum that over the world. Kim's entire look transforms, he's glowing with power, looking absolutely OP. Without holding back, Kim launches a powerful attack straight at the dragon. Then we see that due to that attack, the dragon's mouth opens completely. It looks like the dragon also suffered a lot of damage. After this, Kim becomes extremely happy and starts saying, all right. I finally managed to land an attack. But did it actually affect the dragon? However, we then notice that Kim's attack had absolutely no effect on the dragon. The dragon turns to look at Kim, and we see it glaring at him with furious eyes. Kim starts feeling uneasy and says, why do I suddenly feel cold? The next thing we hear is a loud scream. Right after that, Kim receives a message saying, you failed level 1 again. You still had 24 minutes left, but your trial is over. We then see Kim lying on the ground, badly injured. He says, I really thought I could defeat the dragon this time. But all I got was intense pain. Despite failing, we see that Kim's progress rate has significantly improved. Chiron's lecture increased to 5. 1. Songyong's to 4. 5. And Merlin's to 1. Looking at these results, Kim becomes quite cheerful. He says, just like I thought, when I attacked that dragon, my lecture points went up. If this continues, maybe I can complete all the lectures before the free pass expires. And not just 1, I might even complete 2 lectures. He looks at his screen with excitement. But just then, another message pops up. Do you want to try again? You still have 3 chances left. Seeing this, Kim gets even more pumped and says, let's do this. I'll try again. After a short while, we cut to a new scene where someone approaches Kim and asks, Mr. Kim, are you really not going to the dungeon raid? It turns out to be Shen. Kim replies, yeah, I won't be raiding the dungeon for now. I'm a bit short on time, so I'll stick to self-training. Shen asks, do you really not have time? Kim thinks to himself, yeah, she's not wrong. Lately, I've been acting pretty weird, always staring at a blank screen. That's probably what she thinks, but she has no idea I'm actually trying to complete lectures. Then Shen says, all right, should I finish my paperwork then? Kim responds, yes, go ahead. You can finish it first. Next, we jump to results day. Kim scores only 4. 2 out of 100 in battle. He finds out he completely failed. Everything else is marked as undecided, and Kim sarcastically says, wow, what an amazing result. I failed the first level of the mock test. He continues, the biggest issue is that my lectures didn't progress as quickly as I expected. Kim reflects, the more fights I engage in, the more my teaching experience grows, and because of that, my progress rate also increases rapidly. I'm even becoming more skilled at applying what I learn. Then we see Kim sitting down, thinking, well, there's a 3-day break before the next mock test at Transition Academy. Until then, I should check if there are any lectures I can take, it'll be at least somewhat useful. We cut to a scene 3 days later. A message pops up, your basic endurance test is about to begin. This is your second test. Kim starts thinking, how is this next exam going to go? Another message arrives, you will now receive your question. Suddenly, a red orb appears in Kim's hand, surrounded by a fiery aura. Kim stares at it and says, what is this? If I collect 7 more items that look like this, will I get a wish granted? What a joke, and then, right behind Kim, a dragon appears. Another message pops up, you don't have to do much. Just protect the pill given to you. That's your test. As he turns around, he sees a giant dragon towering behind him. And finally, a last message appears, you must not take even a single hit from the dragon. The timer is set for 1 hour. After that, we see the dragon coming straight towards Kim, ready to attack. However, Kim is still in shock, standing there, thinking to himself, is this what they call the basic endurance test? Then, a message pops up, telling him that he had died and come back within just 3 seconds. Another message follows, asking, do you want to try again? You have 3 chances left. Next, we see Chiron's lecture increasing from 7, 2, and Songyoung's lecture rising to 5, 3. Following that, we reintroduce to the third subject, which is a test on reaction speed. This test is also on level 1, and its time limit is 10 minutes. We then observe a statue-like object, immersed in its own chant, as Kim stands there thinking, what is this thing saying? I don't understand anything about it. Afterward, Kim speaks to the statue, asking, do you need an answer from me? We don't learn if Kim won or lost, but we do see a lecture screen showing an increase in his lectures to 0, 2 and 1. 1. Next, we are introduced to the fourth subject, titled Mana, another level 1 test. Here, it's explained that Kim must give as much mana as possible to the Bulgasari, and the remaining time for this task is 30 minutes. Kim then watches the Bulgasari consume his mana. He says to it, are you a stomach or a well? When will you finally be full? After this, we see the Bulgasari run away, crying, saying, forget it, I'm not giving my mana to anyone. I'm completely drained. We return to the progress screen, where Chiron's lecture has increased to 7, 2 and Songyoung's lecture has risen to 5, 4. Then, the fifth subject appears, mental strength. It's explained that all Kim has to do is listen to Sharon's song, which has a time limit of 30 minutes. We then see Sharon, who is actually a mermaid, singing beautifully. Kim stands there, thinking, this sounds really good. Is this the effect of Siddhartha Gautama's lecture? After this, we learn that Kim has passed level 1, making him extremely happy. He says, wow, I passed level 1 for the first time. I could easily continue to level 15. However, Sharon gets very angry at Kim's words. Then, she starts singing a very dangerous song on level 2, causing blood to pour from Kim's ears. A message appears, stating that Siddhartha Gautama's lecture has increased from level 1. After a while, we see Kim, irritated, saying, this is absolutely terrible. We then get a look at Kim's mark sheet, which shows low scores, 4, 2 in battle, 3, 7 in basic endurance, 2, 3 in reaction speed, 1, 2 in mana, and 9, 8 in mental strength. Despite failing all the subjects, the good news is that his progress rate has greatly improved, with Chiron's lecture at 94, 9, Siddhartha Gautama's at 15, 5, Songyoung's at 96, 3, and Merlin's at 19, 9. After seeing the results, Kim thinks, I feel like I can complete 2 lectures. I'm just wondering what powers I'll gain after completing them. He then realizes there are still 2 subjects left. What is going on? I didn't get any answers when I responded to the questions, and maybe I'll have to choose a subject on exam day. Kim then decides to let it go, saying, I'll just wait until the time comes. I can't do anything else right now. Later, we see Kim very stressed, nervously biting his nails. Then, Shion arrives and asks, Mr. Kim, is something wrong? Your expression seems odd every day. Kim reassures her, saying, No, nothing serious. Don't worry, I'm fine. Kim then reflects, this feels really wrong. 3 days have passed, but I still haven't received any messages. There are only 5 days left until my free pass expires. I need just a little more time to complete my lectures, but I don't have enough time. Should I go into the dungeon and increase my progress rate? He decides it would be better than sitting around doing nothing. I need to clear the dungeon as soon as possible. Just then, we see lights coming from Kim's phone, and a mentor appears, saying, "It's been a long time since we met." Kim, surprised, says, "What is this?" The mentor laughs, saying, "You've really scared me. What did you do while I was away?" As Kim notices the mentor, he thinks, "Man, ever since Ava showed up, things have been quite different." The mentor suddenly gets excited and says, "I feel like even in my absence, you have made quite an impressive progress." But Kim, shouting, quickly responds, "Hey! Why did it take you so long to get here?" From behind, Shan asks, "Are you talking to me?" Then, Shan asks, "Mr. Shojon, what did you just say?" Kim, trying to avoid confrontation, quickly replies, "I didn't say anything. You must have misheard me." Shan agrees, "Yeah, that could be true. Maybe I did hear it wrong." Kim, now calmly speaking, says, "I think you're really tired, so maybe you should take a rest." The mentor, sitting in front of Kim, now speaks, "First, tell me why you arriving so late." The mentor continues, "I thought you'd manage fine without me." Kim, not holding back, responds, "How can you even say that?" The mentor sighs and admits, "All right, I have to tell you the truth." Kim, firm and ready to hear it, replies, "Yes, tell me the truth." The mentor explains, "I went to check your profile, but when I saw it, it was absolutely terrible." Kim, irritated, exclaims, "Terrible? What exactly do you mean?" The mentor calmly responds, "The biggest issue is your level." Both Kim and the mentor fall silent, processing the weight of the words. The mentor then adds, "Even if I wanted to help you at your current level, I just can't." Kim feels frustrated hearing this and says, "If that's the case, you could have at least told me earlier." The mentor apologizes, "All right, I'm sorry for not telling you sooner." He then asks, "But when I wasn't around, did you at least focus on your lectures?" Kim, a bit defensive, answers, "Focus? You talking about focus? I've worked hard on this." The mentor, now pleased, asks, "Then show me your progress rate." As the mentor sees Kim's progress rate, his words falter. "Wait, what's this? Is there some error? Why is it showing this?" Kim asks, "What happened? Is something wrong?" The mentor, confused, responds, "It's showing that you're taking 4 lectures. But why does the progress rate look like this?" Kim, trying to explain, says, "It's showing that because I'm actually taking 4 lectures." The mentor, now even more confused, asks, "But how is this possible?" Kim confidently replies, "Yes, the information it's showing is correct. There's nothing wrong with it." The mentor, now in complete shock, says, "Wait, did you just say that the data is correct? But I thought your progress rate was much lower. How did it improve so much in just 3 months?" Kim, somewhat casually, says, "Maybe it's because I've been doing mock exams for trans exams, and they have really helped me." The mentor, taken aback, asks, "Wait, you're taking mock exams too?" Kim responds, "Yes, is there a problem with that?" The mentor, in utter disbelief, says, "Man, you really don't need me at all." Kim, with a grin, says, "Well, since we're talking about mock exams, I have some questions about subjects." The mentor, now calm, says, "Of course, ask me whatever you want." Kim, now inquiring, asks, "How do we choose the right subjects?" The mentor responds, "You just have to choose the subjects, it's not that complicated." But as the mentor sees that Kim is still undecided about the subjects, he says, "Wait, this is strange. You're in the middle of an exam and still haven't decided on your subjects. How is that even possible?" Kim asks, "I have one more question for you. What exactly is this academy ID that I haven't received yet?" The mentor replies, "What are you talking about? When you enrolled in the academy, didn't you receive your ID?" Kim responds, "No, I didn't get any ID." The mentor is confused and says, "That's impossible. Even if you made a mistake, you should have still received your ID." But then, Kim shows a message that says, "You don't have any ID yet, so you can't post anything." The mentor is shocked. This doesn't make any sense. How could this happen? I've never seen something like this before. After looking at the message, the mentor says, "I think I need to speak to the principal about this." Kim, with a worried expression, says, "Are you leaving me again? Are you going to ditch me this time too?" The mentor reassures him, "No, no. How could I do that? I'm just going out for a bit and will be back soon." The mentor adds, "All right, I'll fix the subject selection issue, and you'll be able to choose your subject." He fixes it quickly, hands Kim his phone, and says, "Now you can choose any subject you want." The mentor disappears, saying, "I'll come back before the free pass expires." Kim, about to speak, realizes the mentor has already left. Kim mutters, "I had more questions to ask, but he left so quickly." "Well, it's not a big deal. He said he'll be back before the free pass expires, so I'll wait." Later, Kim successfully selects his subject. We see that after some time, Kim has completed the subject. As a result, the lecture on Srongyong goes from 3.7 to a higher level, and Kim's progress is 100%. Kim is surrounded by a glowing aura, and a message pops up, "You've completed the technique, the power of the uprooted mountain." Kim can't believe it. Did I really learn the power of the uprooted mountain? He swings his spear lightly, and a huge aura bursts from it. He exclaims, "What just happened? I only swung my spear naturally, but it released the power of the uprooted mountain." Another message appears, "Would you like to enroll in the upgraded version of Power of the Uprooted Mountain?" Meanwhile, Srongyong speaks, "Okay, at least you completed the lecture. I didn't think you'd ever finish it." He adds, "Those who complete this lecture will undergo a transformation, and they'll be able to use the skill naturally. But don't get cocky, this is just the beginning. The power of the uprooted mountain is just a basic skill. There are some of you thinking you're really powerful now, but remember, you're still just trash, recycling from the trash heap." He pauses, then continues, "But congratulations on completing the lecture. Now, let me explain the path to becoming a transcender. It's a tough road, and you'll doubt your choice at times, but don't stop. Keep moving forward. The speed at which you grow doesn't matter. If you're confident in your path, keep going, no matter how slow." After some time, Kim arrives at Shin's academy. Shin greets him, "Kim, you'd here. I wanted to talk to you about the mock exam that was hosted through Hunter Miles, as I told you last week. Should I submit your application now?" Kim thinks to himself, "I was just about to ask her about this. What perfect timing." Kim says, yes, you can submit it." Shin smiles, "I thought so. I'll send your application now." Kim reflects, "I really nailed the Transcender Academy mock test, but I hope the Hunter exam goes well too. After all, I've completed the power of the uprooted mountain, and now I have my spear. I wonder what my level is now." Shin tells him, "Okay, I've submitted your application. If there's no problem, the test will be in 10 days. Kim is standing very close to Shin, lost in thought. "I'm just wondering, if I fight Shin now, what will the result be? Will I lose, or will I beat her?" Then, Ji-hyun begins to speak. "Mr. Kim, what are you doing so close to me?" Kim, thinking to himself, feels like he should just forget about it for now. "I don't need to fight with him, my progress rate is already complete." Kim then says, No, it's not that. But tell me, how's the plan for recruiting new candidates going?" Ji-hyun responds, "I've been getting quite worried lately because I keep thinking, if I recruit a new candidate, how will my grandfather react to that?" Kim thinks to himself, that's a valid concern. If Sword Scent finds out about this, they tell I'll probably beat everyone up. And should I fight with them again? Ji-hyun, still thinking, asks Kim, "Even if I manage to convince my grandfather, which lecturers should I invite?" Kim, surprised, asks, "Lecturers? Does that mean you're not planning to teach them yourself?" Ji-hyun explains, "I can teach a lot of topics, but I can't teach everything as well as I'd like. Each candidate has their own unique style." Kim, puzzled, replies, "I thought you could teach multiple students at once." Ji-hyun clarifies, "I do need quite a few lecturers, but I can't just invite anyone. I can't afford to hire the famous ones, as they demand a lot." Kim asks, "So how much do the popular lecturers usually earn?" Ji-hyun answers, "Popular lecturers at least earn around 100,000 per month, and top-tier ones can charge up to $1 million just for being invited." Upon hearing 1 million, Kim can't hide his excitement, his eyes shining with greed. Kim realizes, so, that's why many hunters retire and join academies. Thinking for a moment, Kim tells Ji-hyun, If you ever need me, just call me. Ji-hyun responds, sure, I'll manage. Scene change, 3 days later, Kim checks his results. His score is 29 out of 100. What is this? How do I only have 29, he wonders. We then see Kim's lecturer scores, which have significantly increased. Siddhartha Gautam, 15. 5. Song-young's lecture is fully completed with 100 and Merlin is at 19. 9. Kim, smiling, says, finally, I've completed Song-young's lecture. But it's strange that I haven't finished Chaeron's lecture completely yet. I might still manage to finish it before the end. Suddenly, the mentor comes out of Kim's phone. Look, I'm back, the mentor says. But Kim doesn't react much, which the mentor notices. The mentor says, you didn't react this time. Why is that? Kim replies, well, you told me you'd come meet me before the end, and I've completed my lecture now. The mentor, surprised, says, you completed a lecture? I'm shocked. Now I don't have words to say. Kim, changing the topic, asks, did you find out anything about my problem? The mentor replies, I think I got distracted along the way. I wanted to ask you about this before going to the principal. Kim wonders, what problem are you talking about? The mentor shouts, Kim, I think a big problem has come up. Kim is confused. What big problem? The mentor says, before I went to the principal, I thought I should ask you why your ID is like this. But when I checked, I couldn't find anything. Kim, thinking it might be an error, asks, what exactly do you mean? The mentor explains, I've just realized that there is no hunter named Kim Soo-jeon registered in our academy. Kim, shocked, says, what do you mean? Are you saying there's no information? The mentor clarifies, just as I said, there is no hunter named Kim Soo-jeon registered at the academy. Kim, still confused, asks, wait, so you're saying I'm not a member of the Transition Academy? Kim then shouts, how am I even able to take lectures if I'm not registered? The mentor sighs, that's exactly what I wanted to tell you. So, the mentor starts explaining to Kim that there is a possibility that only members of their academy can access the lectures. This is why Kim is able to see the lecture on the black screen, and if someone isn't a member, they won't be able to progress in the lecture. The mentor continues, saying that even if he didn't have a membership, he wouldn't be able to approach Kim as a mentor. Kim, now curious, asks, so, you didn't tell the principal about this? The mentor confirms that he did send the information to the principal, but the principal still doesn't know anything about it. Kim starts thinking about who might be in charge of the academy. He doesn't know the academy leader, but he's sure the person must be very powerful. If even that person doesn't know what happened, then no one else would. Kim asks, could this be a system error? The mentor shakes his head and explains, no, there's never been an error in the system unless its causality is changed, but here the causality remains unchanged. The mentor then adds that the principal had told him that they would trace the issue and find out who tampered with the system. They haven't found the culprit yet, but they're working on it. Kim is confused and asks, so what's going to happen to me? Will I no longer be part of the academy? Will I be expelled? The mentor reassures him, saying, no, you've misunderstood. I told you before that once you're a member, you're always a member. We never expel anyone permanently. This issue is from our side, not yours, so you have nothing to worry about. Kim, feeling relieved, responds, all right, now I'm feeling better. I thought it was a system error, but now I know someone interfered intentionally. But who would do such a thing and why? Kim reflects, I just want to become a pro hunter, and I don't want to be anything special. I just want to live my life peacefully. Kim then asks the mentor for confirmation, so you're saying this problem came from your side, not mine. The mentor agrees and assures him that there's no reason to worry as it's all been sorted from their side. Kim says, no problem, it's not a big issue. I thought it was more serious than it really is. The mentor then suggests they move on to the main subjects. They look at the lecture sheet, and Kim sees the following lecture progress: Chaeron's lecture, 94. 9% Siddhartha Gautam's lecture, 15. 5% Shangyu's lecture. 100% Marlin's lecture, 19. 9% Kim quickly says, Mentor, I think my free pass is about to expire. What should I do? The mentor explains that he will guide Kim about the academy's levels. There are 4 levels: entry, lower, middle, and upper. Kim's current level is entry. Kim asks, does this mean when I cross the upper level, I'll become a transient. The mentor shakes his head. No, there are many levels beyond upper that we've hidden. The transient level is extremely difficult. If you think the jump from entry to upper is hard, transient will be even more challenging. Kim gets nervous hearing this, but then the mentor asks him, are you planning to keep your main weapon as a spare? I suggest you purchase the new free pass before the old one expires, so you can continue with the new lectures. Meanwhile, a few messages pop up, one mentioning a person who can do 3 representatives with 500 tons of weight, and another lecture about footwork by Jiang Jeffen. The mentor tells Kim that both these lectures would suit him very well. And that's how the situation unfolds for Kim. Kim is confused and begins speaking. He asks, so, can't I use my mana cultivation version and spare parts? His mentor clears his confusion by replying, no, you can use them, but they are currently at a mid-level. According to my advice, you need to strengthen your foundation first. After that, you won't face any problems, and you'll be one step closer to becoming a transgender. Kim starts thinking and responds, maybe there's a reason for what he said. He agrees with his mentor and says, all right, I understand what you mean. Soon after, a message comes in stating that according to his casualty, his fees are being prepared. Kim is shocked when he sees that the registration fee is 2 million, and the fee for the second lecture is 2.5 million. His situation becomes worse, and he thinks, even though this is a free pass, I feel like I'll need a lot of money for this. His mentor responds, yes, you'll need to save up for that. Kim then asks, so, what exactly is casualty? His mentor explains, in our transgender academy, candidates first cover their basics, which we simply call justification. Kim asks, what does the academy gain from justification? His mentor replies, nothing, but our academy searches for members who truly want to become transgender. Kim asks another question, but why do they do that? The mentor apologizes, I'm sorry, I can only explain so much based on your current level. That's why I suggest you increase your justification quickly, so I can explain everything to you. And yes, I will help you in every possible way. Kim then asks, can I ask one more question? The mentor responds, sure, I'll answer if I can. Kim asks, are there other candidates besides me? The mentor says, yes, of course. You can check directly on the community board, but I believe you're asking if there are other people in the same dimension as you. Kim responds, yes, that's exactly what I meant. The mentor says, well, it's a bit tricky, but I'll tell you. According to our transgender academy, up to 4 members can exist in the same dimension. The narrator then starts explaining about the top 3 academies in Korea, Hunter Miles, Eli, and Guyan. He continues, each academy specializes in something different. If you want to learn magic, you need to go to Eli Academy. If you want to learn about weapons, Guyan's Academy is for you. But if you're unsure, you should go to Hunter Miles Academy. It's explained that if someone doesn't have a specialty, they won't have any weakness either. The narrator continues, as you know, Eli and Guyan each have their specialties. And as for the Hunter Miles Academy, there will be a mock test today. Kim and Zion are at the test site, where Zion tells Kim, Mr. Kim, we need to go this way. She insists they move quickly to avoid the crowd. Kim, still lost in thought, notes, the atmosphere here is completely different from what I saw in the tournament. Zion speaks to a bodyguard, introducing herself as Pak Zion from Dream Academy and Kim as a participant. Kim reflects, this is completely different from what I saw in the tournament. The mock exam is very different too, and its prize is a 1 million yen scholarship. My 2 new lectures are already priced at 500,000 yen, and so far, I've only earned 300,000 yen. Kim, shocked, thinks to himself, I knew this day would come, and I even prepared myself for it. But right now, my knees are practically giving way. I know this lecture is crucial, but my main goal is to buy back the free pass. Kim gets motivated and says, no matter what, I have to pass this mock exam with first place. The bodyguard confirms, okay, you're all set. You can go inside. Once inside, Kim sees a large crowd. People are talking, hey, don't push, and one person is saying, please line up. Seeing this, Kim reacts, this mock exam is going to be really interesting. Zion tells Kim, all right, let's meet after the mock exam. We see Zion preparing to leave, and she says to Kim, I know you'll do great. I believe in you, and I'm sure you'll perform amazingly. Kim, waving goodbye, replies, all right, I'll see you later. At the beginning of the episode, we see someone yelling, "Hey! Can't you see? I am already standing inside the line." Hearing this voice, Kim turns around and starts wondering, is there really a fight happening here? Then, a guy is shown saying, "What do you want from me?" After that, we are introduced to a boy named King, and throughout the story, we'd be referring to him simply as King. He is from Hunter Mile Academy. As King appears, another guy angrily shouts at him, "Hey, stay right there." But just then, another person steps in, apologizing, and it turns out he was already here earlier. Suddenly, a scuffle breaks out between them. Meanwhile, someone in the crowd starts whispering, "Could it be King Ganchel?" As soon as they hear the name King, everyone is shocked and starts murmuring among themselves, "Where is King Ganchel? I haven't seen him yet." The moment they spot King, they exclaim, "Yes, it really is King Ganchel." The guy who was fighting earlier also realizes, "Oh, he's from Hunter Mile Academy too." Then, another voice rises from the crowd, "I was wondering which Hunter Mile Academy would send this time. Anyway, they should send someone according to their level. Like Elicent Academy sent Lead 1, and Jian Academy recruited Jin Dongming." The conversation continues, "I heard this mock test is going to be quite historic. I just hope the test turns out to be impressive." Someone adds, "I also heard that King Ganchel ranks 3rd in his academy." Meanwhile, King Ganchel and Kim exchange glances. King says nothing and simply walks past him. Kim thinks to himself, he must be a really good and powerful person in his academy. On the other side, the boy who was fighting earlier starts shouting again, "Is King Ganchel really here?" People start discussing among themselves, "Who do you think will win this time?" A voice responds, "I think King Ganchel will win. Sure, Li Don or Li Dongmin are impressive, but when it comes to skill, no one can match Ganchel. I even heard that the Order of Truth is trying to recruit him. Plus, since Hunter Mile Academy sent him personally, I am sure he'll win easily." Another person challenges, "What are you saying? From which academy is he again?" Someone points out, "Look carefully, he's from Hunter Mile Academy. Don't you think his academy would support him?" A guy wearing glasses joins in and says, "No, they wouldn't do that." Another person asks, "Why not?" The guy with glasses explains, "Think about it. Even if he's from the same academy, a reputed academy like Hunter Mile would never resort to cheating." Everyone around agrees, "Yeah, that might actually be true. Big academies probably don't cheat." Suddenly, we see a hunter entering, carrying loads of weapons. He demands, "Why aren't you letting me inside?" Seeing him, Kim becomes confused and starts thinking, how can someone carry so many weapons? There's no way he can actually use all of them. The hunter insists to the bodyguards, "I am a participant. Here's my application form." The guard politely responds, "Sir, please go and stand in the line. When it's your turn, you tell be allowed inside." Frustrated, the hunter points at King Ganchel and asks, "Then how did you let him in without standing in the line?" The guard explains, "He is from Hunter Mile Academy. He doesn't need any permission." Hearing this, the hunter makes a weird face and mumbles, "So, that's what Hunter Mile Academy gets you, huh?" The people standing behind him start shouting, "Hey, go stand in the line. We're already getting late because of you." The guards finally lose their patience, grab him, and start dragging him away. Even while being taken away, the hunter keeps shouting, "There are no rules here. This is injustice." And then, a bodyguard approaches Kim and says, "Stop standing here. Follow me." Seeing the man, Kim starts thinking, "I am now convinced that some really strange people have entered this exam." After that, the scene shifts, and we are shown the first test, a racing event. All the participants are taking part in a running test. Then we are introduced to a guy who says, "My name is Pak Dong-suk. If I were to introduce myself, I would say that I am soon going to become a candidate from the Li Dong Hunters side. Honestly, I have enough abilities to get admitted into the top 3 academies, like Hunter Mile Academy, Eli Academy, and Jian Academy.